Come on in, gather round. It is time once again for another tale of baseball heroism. We've had a few good ones so far in the time that we've been making these for you, but this one takes the cake by a country mile. The journey taken by the hero of today's story is perhaps one of the most incredible in the history of the game. This is the story of Japan's all-time hit king on this episode of Global Baseball's Finest. And it begins right about here. The central character in this story was born to two Korean expatriates who settled in Hiroshima to look for better economic opportunities since their homeland was under Japanese colonial rule. Not long after arriving in Japan, the two young parents gave birth to their second child, Hun Chong. Little did he know it, but Chong would face a staggering amount of trauma in his first 10 years of life. When he was 4, young Chong was playing outside in the street by the light of a bonfire. But when a passing truck scared him off the road, he tripped face first onto the ground, unfortunately with his right hand being thrust directly into the flames. During the accident, his hand had been in a fist, and the burns caused him to lose mobility entirely in his middle, ring, and pinky finger, permanently forcing them into a fist. As he recovered, his interest in baseball began to flourish, and his desire to play forced him to learn to swing and throw with his left hand. Unfortunately, he would not have much time to fully recover. His father fell ill and passed away not long after the accident, and later, on August 6th, 1945, his life, as with many other citizens of Hiroshima, would never be the same. The United States dropped an atomic bomb with the intent of destroying Imperial Japanese military installations within the city. Young Chong, his mother, and his youngest sister were all unharmed from the blast, thanks to the location of the family home on a mountainside outside the city, which shielded them from the blast zone. His older sister, however, was not so lucky, losing her life on her way into town. The sights, sounds, and trauma that young Chong experienced would motivate him to become active in anti-nuclear weapons activism, and he would use his subsequent fame as a baseball star to further the Hibakusha movement, a group that argues for complete nuclear disarmament across the world to this day. As for Chong, he marched on. Baseball still remained an outlet for his pain. He created a special glove for his right hand to allow him to catch the ball on top of throwing and swinging with his left hand. He kept climbing the ladder and earned a professional contract with NPB's Toei Flyers in 1959, earning Rookie of the Year honors under the name that he would use to enter baseball history, his adopted Japanese name, Isao Harimoto. Harimoto's breakout season came in 1961, slashing a splendid .336, managing 159 hits, 31 doubles, 10 triples, 24 home runs, batting in 95 runs, and stealing 18 bases. He stood out as one of the young superstars of NPB around the time that Sadaharu Oh, Shigeo Nagashima, and Masaichi Kaneda all burst onto the scene. His story and status as the one man who survived the atomic bomb blast to play professional baseball in Japan made him well loved by fans all over the country. Isao was also famously stingy about accepting and giving compliments about his and his peers' baseball skills. So if he's watching this, and I doubt it, but on the off chance he is, I wonder if he'll allow me to compliment him a little bit further, just a little bit further. His fantastic career ended in 1981 playing for the Lotte Orions. With the Flyers, later fighters, Giants, and Orions, later Marines, he accumulated a career batting average of .319, 1,676 RBIs, 319 stolen bases, 72 triples, 504 home runs, which is 7th all-time in NPB history, and an NPB record 3,086 hits. The 2,500th of which came with Sadaharu O already on base during Isao's time with the Giants, and the 3,000th came as a sayonara home run in 1981 for the Orions. The only man to eclipse his mark in Japan was the great Ichiro Suzuki, by way of his combined MLB and NPB numbers. Harimoto's high average, high-speed numbers, when combined with his terrific power numbers, made him a very rare breed indeed, often motivating people to draw comparisons between him and the great Willie Mays. Incredibly, though, he was never overly jacked. He didn't use anything like a load step to increase his bat speed as his hips turned through the zone. So how did he manage 504 home runs, amongst other things? It just isn't needed. It looks like it just isn't needed. His eye was just that darn good. His limited mobility necessitated Harimoto to work especially hard to be able to see the ball better than anybody else in the league at the time, to keep up with the guys who were logging 100+ hits every single season when he was playing for the Flyers in his first few years. So, without further ado, let me show you how this fantastic swing comes together. So it's time once again to head out to the field.
Okay, so the way I see it, Harimoto has three distinct advantages as a hitter going into every single at-bat. Two are repeatable for everybody out there at home. First, instead of the traditional bat position that most hitters would use, he would hold it almost completely even with whatever pitch he thought would be coming. So if it's a high one, his bat's right here. If it's a low one, his bat's down here. And if it's somewhere in the middle, he's right there in the middle, obviously. The advantage here is that you don't really have to worry too much about either coming down on it or going way down and popping up with it. Instead, your bat is already on the plane of the pitch. So when you see it coming, you can just slap your hands towards the pitch. Second advantage, and what again makes this so unique, is his front foot. In this case, his right foot. I mentioned no leg kick. Even O, who was his teammate for a while with the Yomiuri Giants, would, of course, if you recall, have his feet almost all the way up here before he sets it down to swing. Harimoto was the exact opposite. Instead of kicking his leg, his front foot wouldn't move at all. He wouldn't even really pull it up. If you keep it short and sweet, it adds a little extra bit of torque into that forward motion. And then, of course, the third advantage, due to his lack of mobility, he had to basically be entirely hip forward in pushing his bat through the zone, because he had not a whole heck of a lot of axis to move his hand. In the same way, we who are lucky enough to not have horrible accidents when we're little can. Okay, time to put it together.
さあこの拍手2500本のヒットをもうスタンドの打った2500本目
Harimoto, you exhaust me. But there you have it. The virtues of not wasting time trying to guess what plane the pitch is going to come on. Putting your bat there already. And the even bigger virtues of no stride hitting. He was a 5-tool player without question. And that, among other things, is the reason why Isao Harimoto is Japan's all-time hit king. But I think it's time that we kick it back to the studio and wrap it up. God, the bugs are eating me alive out here.
Isao Harimoto's story is one of great tragedy and personal injury. But the incredible adversity he faced could not stop him from reaching the top heights of Japanese baseball, and he would enter history as the survivor of the atomic bomb, who became the all-time hit king of NPB. I urge you, and anyone else who hears this story, to use Harimoto's determination to fuel your own self-achievement, whether it's excellence in baseball or in any other aspect of life. If you let nothing slow you down, anything is possible. Oh man, what a roller coaster ride that was, wasn't it? Did want to remind you again, as we did in last Wednesday's video. Obviously, we didn't have a news update last week because it was kind of a slow news week. We'll definitely have one this week, I can promise you that. You can probably guess a handful of the stories that we're going to be talking about. But next Thursday, we'll be doing a live game broadcast at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our Twitch channel. That's the Global Baseball Network, just like the YouTube channel. I'll go ahead and link it in the description. It is a Pacific League clash in NPB between the Saitama Seibu Lions and the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. It's going to be a good one. It'll just be a voice and graphic broadcast, though. Obviously, we can't broadcast the game without the proper licenses, but tune in, chat, enjoy the game, and we'll be talking baseball all the way through it, and you guys can see whether or not you think I'm a half-decent play-by-play commentator on top of a half-decent YouTuber for y'all. So again, that is Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern, live on our Twitch channel, the Global Baseball Network. Link is in the description. But with that, it is time once again to bring another episode of Global Baseball's Finest to a close. So please do like and share this video if you enjoyed it and you know somebody who would enjoy it right along with you, and subscribe and hit that bell icon. Both of those are right below the video screen there. It's the big red one, to make sure that you are getting your fix all about the world's greatest game. We are a company of addicts here at Global Baseball Network, and we can't survive without our daily fix. So we're hoping that we can get you the good stuff every single time we're making videos and posting on our social media to keep you updated and entertained in the world of baseball. I've been Marshall Lemmer. This has been another episode of Global Baseball's Finest. I bowed too early. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. But for now, that's the game.